You've asked me to have a look at and react to Sarah Boone's letters, so let's go. Whoops. She doesn't know who I'm talking to. I don't know how this is going to work out because it's just me and words on the page, so hopefully it's not too boring. Okay, this one was written on, looks like October 3rd, 2022, addressed to Frank Bankowitz, her lawyer. But here's the thing, the envelope was addressed to the judge. And at the end of the letter, there's a CC to the judge. But at the beginning of the letter, she doesn't also address the judge. She's addressing Bankowitz. I think the letter is actually for the judge. It sends Bankowitz a message, but I think she wrote it with the judge in mind rather than try and keep the judge in the loop, you know? Because when you talk to your lawyer, you're not keeping the judge in the loop. So there's another reason here. Mr. Bankowitz, I'm writing in regards to not hearing from you. Okay. This starts out normally. I'm writing in regards to whatever it is, and the first thing is a complaint. Not hearing from you and am becoming very concerned after receiving no response to any of my daily calls or from the letters I've sent. Oh, if somebody called me every day, I wouldn't respond to them either. And I mean, unless it's someone close to me, right? As of today, October 3rd, you've been my court appointed attorney for almost 3 months, 12 weeks, 84 days. He can't count and he needs to know that apparently. And only spoken to me 3 times. So July video introduction, 15 minutes. August video update, 15 minutes. August 22nd, visit in person, 90 minutes. Hey, that's pretty good. But it's October now. So she is alleging that he hasn't spoken to her since August 22nd. We know she's a liar. Then again, it's pretty brazen to say it to him. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt for now. I've written 2 letters in the meantime. Also, my most recent I sent on September 12th with no response. You know, sometimes they receive letters and don't respond. They receive the letter and they put it in the file or do whatever they have to do with it. I mean, everybody works differently, right? I guess they should at least tell her, hey, we got your letter. I'm unaware of the difficulties you are having in communicating with me. Video, phone, letter, in person, especially via phone, which to me is the simplest form of doing so, even if just for a brief update, which takes only minutes. Okay, first of all, if something is simple to her, if she thinks something, then it's true, right? She thinks that phone is the simplest form of communication. No, especially if the person is in custody. You have to make arrangements for that stuff. You're in court, you're in meetings, you're working with other clients, you have deadlines, you have things to file. There's all kinds of stuff you have to do. So it's not like you can just, pick up the phone whenever you want. I mean, I suppose you could make an appointment, but, you know, expecting that a lawyer is just going to pick up and respond to you at the moment you call is not reasonable. A letter would probably be easiest for the lawyer. He could dictate it, say what he's got to say, and that's that. So, she's just showing her, if she perceives something a certain way, that's how it is. And she's also scolding, I'm unaware of the difficulties you're having. She might as well just say, you know what, you're really stupid. Oh, even for a brief update, which takes only minutes. I can't imagine being a lawyer talking to her and thinking it's only going to take minutes, just based on the way she has been before with everybody else. I believed by you giving me your personal cell number, you were going to answer. I would at least know all is well and have a better understanding of the status of some things, what to plan on, or what I may need to work on. She needs to work on herself. She asked the same question of the police. What do I need to do? So what she's asking is, okay, what do I need to do to get out of this? Which is understandable. I mean, she's in custody. People get anxious. And what she's saying here is, I need to know that everything's going to be okay. She's anxious. And honestly, that's understandable. If you're in custody and you're looking at maybe being in custody for a lot longer, yeah, you want to know everything's going to be okay. It's not your lawyer's job to hold your hand. I mean, to some degree, the lawyer should be saying, yeah, this is going to be a problem and this is going to go well, or whatever. And if there are things that the client needs to do, then the lawyer, I expect, would say so. I wonder if she's wanting to control. And I say that just because that's her personality. Sometimes people think that they have to do a lot of stuff. One of the beautiful things about getting a lawyer is the lawyer does the work. You say, this is my problem, here's the story, and the lawyer works on it, and you don't have to do all that. With no communication makes my end more difficult, drawn out, and painful. Maybe there's a reason for not telling her to do something. I mean, maybe there's not anything she can do. I mean, sometimes you're just waiting for a court date, right? Sometimes you're waiting because the lawyer has to file things or find an expert. I understand her anxiety. If what she's saying is true about communication, then he could probably do better or have assistants uh, help him. We don't know. We know she wants what she wants when she wants it. So she, at the even at the scene, right from the get-go, well, I want my smoke and my Dr. Pepper. And can I go in the house? And the officer says no. And she tries to go in the house anyway. And she bugs and bugs and bugs. I mean, people can't do their jobs because she's bugging them. Imagine having to be the lawyer trying to do your job, and your job is actually to do things for her. The her expectations might be very high. Please figure out whatever is necessary for my phone calls to be answered. Maybe through the phone off the I-4. um, which you will be reimbursed for when you submit your costs. I don't know. I don't know how it works there, but here, if a lawyer is being paid for through the public purse, that lawyer has to justify every single cost. So if you have a private client and they're paying you and they're calling you all the time and they're talking to you for an hour on the phone, and really they're talking about the kids' baseball game and every other thing, you know what? If that client's a pain in the butt, you bill them for every minute. For every minute they talked about that kids' baseball game. You can't do that with here it's legal aid. You can't. You have to justify it. So maybe you'll be reimbursed, maybe not. And also the rate of pay is lower if you're being paid by the tax dollar. It feels at this rate of communication and meetings and you just coming on board, not having all of my discovery to go over. Ooh, still on top of everything else to be done, and depth. Is she saying that she doesn't have all of her discovery, or that he doesn't have all of her discovery? And everything else to be done, what does she think needs to be done? And if he's busy answering her phone calls, I mean, he can't do other things that have to be done. And depth. So she wants to go in depth. And you know what? Fair enough. Sometimes clients don't understand what's important to go in depth about and what isn't. And I mean, they're not lawyers, right? They get they get anxious and they think, "Oh, I got to tell you this thing." And in the beginning, you have to listen to all that because you don't know what little thing you're going to find out that might be relevant. So so in the beginning, yeah, you spend more time, like a 90-minute visit. Um, but once you decide on what your defense is going to be or which route you're going to go, you don't need as much in depth. In this case, he's trying to find an expert witness for a battered spouse defense. And if that's the case, then the person that's going to need to go in depth with her is going to be that expert who is going to have to interview her and interview all the other witnesses that she or he can. The discovery thing is a little bit, hmm, I'm not sure if somebody really doesn't have all the discovery, or if there's something that she thinks ought to be there that isn't, because sometimes that happens. How much longer am I really going to be here? Added to the 32 months already. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's normal to want to know that. But you know what? She can't do anything or go anywhere until there's a court date anyway, until there's a trial. Especially if we communicate however you eventually do, only one time a month, if that. As for all of the month of September, I know nothing from not hearing from you. I understand you have other clients. Good. As I am one also. Yeah, fair enough. And you've been recuperating from your back. Oh, well, that might explain something. So he had some sort of a injury. If he's injured and has to recuperate, remember, she's not his only client. That means that when he comes back, he has to get caught up on all his files. So it's not just her that he has to get back up to speed on, it's all the other files. And if other people, I'm not saying that it's okay to not communicate if that's what's happening. His assistants can help, right? Can write letters, can let him know. Maybe they have, because she knows somehow that he's recuperating from some sort of a back problem. So how does she know that if nobody told her? So maybe his assistants are in communication with her. She's not understanding. She says, I understand you have other clients, but I think she's not, maybe not putting it together like, look, I have to get caught up on everybody, not just you. And if the other clients have court dates or trials before her, or if there's something really involved that he needs to get done, or if there are filing deadlines and that sort of thing, then they're going to have to, those matters are going to have to take priority. It's common for clients to not understand that. Remember, please, how long I've been here? Yeah. You are my sixth attorney, not by choice. And the magnitude of my case. There are death penalty cases. They're bigger. There are first degree cases. They're bigger. Um, but whenever you're in custody and you're facing any time in custody, it's gonna seem like a great magnitude to you. I would not want to be in custody for a day. I've been inside jails to work, right, to interview people, but I'm always so glad to get out of there. The magnitude of my case, with not knowing what's going on or where you are, she doesn't need to know where he is. Okay, how much harder it is for me. Yeah, she has anxiety, man. Like, I get it, but she's got a lot of anxiety here. I want to get on with my life and not miss any more time necessary from my son. Yeah. I've already missed 4 of his birthdays and spent 3 of my own in here. Please understand. Whether anybody likes her or doesn't like her, she's a human being, right? Every inmate is a human being. And right now, this is pre-trial. So she is actually innocent unless and until she's proven guilty. I feel bad for the kid. I feel bad for everybody who loved any of the people involved in this. The whole thing's terrible. No, too, I am patient. No, she's not. Daily calls and letters, and now I'm telling on you to the judge. Right? Like, I'm CCing the judge. I mean business. But I'm patient. And I don't drink at all. I don't have an alcohol problem. I can't get drunk, but it was the alcohol that caused the problem, that sort of thing. Clearly, after all the time already invested, is she talking about things that she's done on her file or something? Or is she talking about being in custody? Because if she's talking about being in custody, it's not like she made a choice to invest in that. If she's talking about work she's done on her file, well, she's in custody. Does she have something better to do other than work on her file or work on herself? I guess the message is, she's working hard and other people are not. And still smiling at it, whatever that means. And willing to go above and beyond whatever we need to do properly and truthfully convey my very convoluted, misunderstood side of everything. And this is underlined. Oh, there's a lot here. Go above and beyond. This is not a service she's doing for somebody else where she has to go above and beyond expectations. She's trying to save her butt. Yes, she's saying, yeah, okay, you know what? I'm willing to participate. And it's important for a client to participate in their own defense. Her language is so extreme. Properly. She sounds like an old school mom. Do it properly. And properly is going to be whatever her version of properly is. And I say that just based on her previous behavior. And truthfully convey. Oh no. That's what we've all been waiting for, is the truth. She glosses over the truth. She has glossed over the truth from the very beginning. Anything that doesn't fit with her story or anything that makes her look bad, then she either skips it, hides it, or denies it. She blames other people. Everybody else is bad. They made mistakes. Everybody else is wrong. I excel at everything, right? So when she's saying truthfully, there's a part of me that wants to laugh, and there's a part of me that is just annoyed because she's lying using the word truthfully. If she truthfully conveyed what happened and her side, she'd be serving her sentence. She'd have taken a plea deal. Convoluted. Yes, her side of everything is convoluted. And the reason it's convoluted is because she's hiding time and she's hiding facts, and she wants everybody to ignore evidence. She wanted the detectives to ignore the injuries on Mr. Torres, and she doesn't know how they got there, right? and ignore the fact that she chose to walk away from him. He's begging for his life and she chose to walk away. But we're all supposed to ignore that. And who knows what other evidence that we haven't seen yet that she's going to want us to ignore. And it's convoluted. I mean, she's, speaking out of both sides of her mouth half the time based on whatever seems to help her the most in the moment. So, of course, it's convoluted because it's not true. This is different from being complicated. Battered spouse, that's a complicated situation. This is convoluted. It's different. Misunderstood side of everything. So if we're all misunderstanding, then we don't know that we're misunderstanding. So I would like to see the truth, and I think all of you would too. She could make us understand. She could tell the truth. I think, though, for her, she says misunderstood. I think what's happening is she doesn't like the interpretation of the facts. So she doesn't like the idea that she intentionally walked away. She doesn't want that interpreted that way or maybe focused on at all. She wants us to listen to the facts or the narrative, not necessarily the facts, what she wants. So she has an interpretation of something that benefits her conveniently. And that's the side that she wants us to understand, regardless of what the facts are. Now, maybe at trial, different facts will come out. Maybe the expert will say something that we don't know, will convey some knowledge, some wisdom that none of us have thought of. It's possible. And reasonable people will change their mind based on evidence. If she's misunderstood, then just tell us the truth, Sarah, which I boldly told you in our meeting last month. I am dedicated, ready to start overdue. I'm not even going to comment on that. I'm so very grateful, Mr. Bankowitz. What? Again, with the extreme language. She's so grateful that she's basically telling on him to the judge. She starts off her letter by giving him crap. Then she does this condescending thing. I'm unaware of the difficulties you're having in communicating. And then she tells him which is the simplest way to communicate and that he should do that. She gives him crap about his cell phone number. Oh, I joke about throwing it off the interstate, throwing the cell off the interstate. Lawyers can't just answer their cell phones whenever they ring. Could you imagine if everybody answered their cell phones in court? Right? It would be chaos. Nobody would get anything done. And if it's your personal cell, I mean, you're not answering it. You're in meetings, you're with other clients, you're doing stuff. So you're going to it's going to go to voicemail and you'll pick up your messages later and decide what needs your attention and what doesn't, and what's priority and what isn't. What needs a response, because not everything needs a response. I think she doesn't understand that he's not like her personal assistant or her personal slave. Yes, he should communicate with her, but it's, again, she wants what she wants when she wants it. I'm so very grateful. So it doesn't, the whole letter, she's giving him crap. She's talking down to him. Some of her concerns are actually legitimate, and if not, I don't want to say not legitimate, but at the very least, they're understandable. I'm so very grateful. So this is BS, and I think that is manipulation. For you, for all you're doing, have done, and will do. Well, she just finished saying that he's failed. He hasn't done enough, and will do. This is like a thanks in advance. Such a salesman game. We're in this together. I am so blessed. You are my attorney. I need a bucket. What is this? So this is the first time that I've seen her invoke a higher power or use sort of religious language. Maybe it's the first time because it just never came up, but I don't think so. This is a bit of manipulation and impression management. I think this may be for the benefit of the judge. Sometimes people will do this thing like, well, I'm a good Christian, right? As if that's gonna get them out of things. I'm a Christian, therefore I can't be bad. Well, we all know that's not true. God has put us in each other's paths for a reason. And I can't wait to see what you and he will do. Well, no, she can't wait. That's part of the problem. She's not going to wait to see what God does or to see what the lawyer does because she's not patient enough to wait and she wants to control everything. So it's not like she's going to leave this up to God. This is an interesting statement, though, for another reason. If she really believes that God has put her together with Bankowitz and that this lawyer is part of God's plan, why give him crap? Then later, when she maybe claims ineffective assistance of counsel, that's the lawyer God chose for you, according to you. So, how do you work that out then in your head? She doesn't believe this. This is a game. This is just manipulation. I'm not saying she doesn't have legitimate concerns if what she's saying is true, but this business, she knows about his back. So obviously somebody from that law office has communicated with her. Please respond. Yeah, fair. I await your response. Thank you profusely. She's so extreme. And then at the end, instead of the beginning, she sees it, CCs it to the judge. She's letting Bankowitz know, hey, I'm willing to tell on you. And we know she is willing to use this system to her benefit. She's willing to tell on people to try and get people in trouble. She's willing to wield the system as a cudgel for her own personal use. Now, I'm not saying that she shouldn't make sure that she is availed of her rights. I'm not saying that she shouldn't advocate for herself. There's nothing wrong with that. But man, there's something hidden here. So she's, making this accusation and she's really not making it to Bankowitz. She's making it to the judge. And I don't know if, as of October 2022, if she realized that these letters would be public. But she's definitely laying all this out for the judge. I wonder how much is, how she focuses only on what she wants to focus on, because she knows about his back injuries. So she says he didn't talk to her all of September. That is kind of long not to talk to your client, but obviously she talked to somebody in that law office. Let's take a second and look at the letter as a whole. I think she's neurotic. She's demeaning, she's scolding, she's arrogant. I believe by you giving me your personal cell phone number, you're going to answer. There's abandonment and need. And fair enough, yeah, she needs help, for sure. Pleading, appeal to compassion, expression of pain. Do what's necessary, like, come on, answer my calls. Bargaining, we're seeing fear. The whole tone is demeaning. She knows what's best and she wants to dictate how everything should go. And even though she says, I understand you have other clients, and she understands he's been recuperating from an injury, there's no leeway given for any of that. There's no insight to how she's coming across, why maybe she's not effective. I don't know how she got through life, man. Talks about the truth that she doesn't tell. Well, that's the end of the first letter. I'll see you for the next one. If people don't like it, I won't keep doing them. We'll see. Thanks for watching.